Welcome to Paleobites, the only podcast that has survived 5 mass extinctions and is enduring a 6th. You know, the one humans are causing now.
The Anthropocene extinction.
It's very sad, but let's make jokes!
Enough misery, let's make things happy!
My name is Matthew Donald, and each week I and a rotating series of guest co-hosts talk about and rate a genus of prehistoric animal, be it dinosaur, mammal, arthropod, and so on. This week I'm joined by the self-proclaimed...
Space
nerd, all-around awkward but kind of adorable Ford guy. Awkwardable. Alan Brooks! Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Well, I don't know. That introduction was real interesting.
Yeah, I come up with them off the cuff. I apologize. I made it. And speaking of awkward, you know?
Yeah.
Alright, well, I'd like to ask our co-hosts, my co-host, I don't know why I keep saying our. I'm not schizophrenic, yo.
Nope.
We're not schizophrenic. We're not. We are not. I'd like to ask him a question about prehistoric creatures at the beginning, so I'm going to ask you, Godzilla. You like King of the Monsters.
Mm-hmm.
If King Ghidorah is on the loose, and you only have real dinosaurs to try and fight him, as many of them as you want, you don't just one, which dinosaur do you throw at him, or prehistoric creature?
If it's literal in the throwing, can I have an Argentinosaurus and hope that I hit him in the head?
Just a bunch of Argentinosaurs just piling on
Bury
King
him
Ghidorah.
in the giant ones. 'Cause, yeah.
That might be the only thing that would work, and even then, he would probably just use his gravity beams and just go... and just...
Well, I'd get to find out what electricity-cooked Argentinosaurus would smell like.
How do you conduct... Okay, I'm no scientist, but how do you conduct electricity with gravity beams?
I don't know. The gravity beam thing is, in my opinion, is something that came from sort of the cellular era.
Yeah, I think it's called gravity beams, even in the new one, but yet they don't really do gravity stuff. They just kind of shock, so...
Yeah. More accurately say he's a... Well, you could almost call him a storm dragon in the new one, considering not only does he breathe lightning, he also can shoot it out of his wings if he's properly charged, and he creates gigantic
he's
hurricanes.
Always surrounded by a hurricane that just from the flapping of his wings.
From the energy of his wing flaps alone he generates.
Yeah, it's crazy. So that sounds scary. Yeah, so I want to see the next Godzilla movie. Just someone just gets like a Argentinosaurus and like a super fast 3D printer. It's just like Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V.
Try and bury him. They're gonna be the king of terror himself.
A bunch of 3D printed yet somehow alive Argentinosaurus. Okay. Oh, that'd be a great movie. We're not talking about anything at all related to any of that this week, but we are talking about a sea scorpion. One of the biggest sea scorpions, if not the biggest sea scorpion. It is called Jaekelopterus. Wing of Jaekel is what it means. It sounds Germanic. It's named after a guy named Otto Jaekel. And
okay.
I'm assuming it's pronounced Jaekelopterus. It could be Jaekelopterus.
I think Jaekelopterus.
Yeah, because Germanic words beginning with the J make the Y sound. You're like Jaeger, Johann.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never actually heard this genus name say it out loud, so I could be totally wrong, and this is the one exception. But yeah, so I'm going to call it Jaekelopterus. It was a eurypterid, a group of extinct aquatic arthropods, more commonly known as sea scorpions. Not literal scorpions, they're not arachnids, but they look a lot like them, and they even have the tails, although the tails don't have venom in them.
Yeah, though it depends. Some of them have more lobster-like tails, too.
Yeah, some of them just have more lobster-like tails. Some of them they do kind of...
have the overhead...
The stinger
kind of
that goes... It's more like a big pincer
stinger.
than like a... Because there's no venom, it just goes... and then hurt. So,
more of a stabby weapon.
Yeah. There's a lot of different species of Jaekelopterus, so it can vary from 3 to a whopping 9 feet long. 1 to 3 meters long. This weight, I just have it as an estimate. It's about 500 to 1,200 pounds.
Well, don't come here if you're scared of arthropods, that's for sure.
Yeah, big scorpion that swims.
It swims. Don't get in the water.
It was a carnivore. Lived in the Early Devonian, 411 to 406 million years ago. Location, 2 very different places, Germany and Wyoming, USA.
Huh.
The continents were a lot different back then.
True. That was Pangea period.
Well, it was before Pangea. It was it was all kind of like gather in the southern hemispheres, like Gondwana land, period.
Oh, okay.
Different from Gondwana. It's different. It's confusing. I don't know how it works. There's actually been a lot of supercontinents throughout the years. Like the
fact that we're in a speckling of them now is very odd.
Yeah, like even before there was multicellular life, there were supercontinents. Which just sounds crazy to me. No life in the inland, just single cellular life in the ocean. It's kind of weird. It looks kind of like what we imagine some exoplanets to be like. Just terrain that's just empty, and then some oceans, that are mostly empty except for things you can see with a microscope.
I wonder if bioluminescence was around back then.
That'd be cool. Make it a little bit more notable. Although, what would it be for? Like, they don't have eyes.
Don't know.
Well, I guess therefore it also wouldn't be a disadvantage.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be like it would make you visible to a predator. So anyways, it was German Wyoming. It was described in 1914.
An early one.
Cusp of the war.
Oh boy.
Yes, the Kaiser was, doing bad stuff. I'm no historian. I should know more about this. I'm actually writing a book that takes place post World War One. So, no, they were doing some bad stuff. The Ottoman Empire, the Austro-Hungarian Empire, all that. It was ready to fight. And in the midst of all that, this one German guy, Jaekel, was like, I found something! And they're like, does it help our forces in the war? No? Then we're not interested! Okay. So, pop culture appearances, none I can find, but it's probably in Jurassic World, the game. Except, no, actually, it is... I forget, though, it actually is... I mentioned it later, it was technically in Walking with Monsters. But it's not called that, so I'll talk about it here. So yeah, named for the man who described it, Otto Jaekel, this super sea scorpion is currently the largest known arthropod of all time. Its weight even surpassing Arthropleura, which we covered in an earlier episode. Well, not you and I, but me and a friend Christine and I did.
Mm-hmm.
I remember hearing from Walking with Monsters that Pterygotus was the largest arthropod of all time. But it turns out the first Jaekelopterus species was initially assigned to the Pterygotus genus, and then changed to a new genus in 1964 by British paleontologist Charles D. Waterston. Since this was well before Walking with Monsters aired, at first I was like, oh no, the Walking With series lied to me again! This is like Liopleurodon all over again! But then I read that the larger species of Pterygotus howelli, was reassigned to the Jaekelopterus genus by Norwegian paleontologist O. Erik Tetley in 2007, 2 years after Walking with Monsters, so they're forgiven this time. So in that instance, and if you use that, then yeah, it was also featured in Walking with Monsters.
Yep.
Not just Jurassic World the game. Even though everything's Jurassic World the game, it's nice to see creatures and other things. Anyways, Jaekelopterus was an apex predator of Early Devonian Euramerica. I had never heard that word before until I Googled, I was looking up this thing and called that Early Devonian Euramerica. I like that name, though.
Wow.
What would you describe as Euramerica nowadays? Pennsylvanians. They're either Dutch or from Pennsylvania.
Wow.
I don't know. Those are modern Euro-Americans.
Huh.
Anyways, they had highly developed compound eyes and sharp pincers, allowing it to snatch fish, maybe even other
smaller arthropods,
some other eurypterids. Even though the eurypterids are colloquially known as sea scorpions, there's actually evidence that Jaekelopterus lived at least partially in freshwater environments. Mainly the strata in which their fossils have been found. There are different ways they can figure out all this, the chemical compounds of the rocks that they're from. Like, oh, is this freshwater? Is this, oh, it's saltwater? No, it's freshwater, you know? Yeah, so that's, I don't know, there's not much more to say about it than it's just it's a
really big sea scorpion thing.
Yeah.
Not technically a scorpion, like you said.
But it's a really big eurypterid. Really big arthropod. Although I guess it's not technically confirmed to be bigger than Arthropleura. Arthropleura is technically longer. But
Arthropleura is kind of like a long piece of string.
Well, it's not. It's still pretty thick, too. But yeah, so the debate goes on which one's actually bigger.
Which one's bigger.
Or, like, heavier, yeah, so...
That would be what you're guessing.
This one was...
the ocean would be a better spot, be bigger.
Yeah, it would be. Arthropleura was in swamps, but it did not swim. It was kind of just, like, lugging its big, bloated arthropod corpse all around. Oh, it's so creepy. I don't like arthropods. They're all so creepy. Ah.
All the eyes, the weird eyes,
all the
legs,
eyes, all the limbs. I preferred my creatures
shell,
two-eyed and four-limbed, please. Yeah, that's you, Lyra. Oh, I love that little birdie.
He does like the two-eyed, four-limbed things. But yeah.
Yep.
Big thing. I'm actually have to admit that 1,200 pounds for a sea scorpion. I've already marked that that's huge, but that's approaching the size of a small car.
You got it. You order it at Red Lobster. You could feed a whole family.
You could feed a whole family.
Yeah, so it might be quite delicious. I don't know.
Well, we will never know.
We will absolutely never know. That'd be really funny if they brought back, if like we use some in the future, we have some advanced like engine level technology. And what do we use it for? We use it to bring back creatures to eat. What a waste.
What a waste. But yeah, big things swimming in the ocean. Do you think that their claws could crack smaller arthropod shells?
Small ones, yes. I don't think it could crack, like... There were ammonites back then. Not necessarily ammonites, but there were ammonoid-like creatures back then. I don't know if it could crack through that shell.
Yeah, those were built pretty sturdy. I'm just thinking, if it ran into like one of the smaller sea scorpions...
Yeah, it could just go pinch, like, on its little head.
Crunch its head. tear off its propulsive method.
Yeah.
Grab it by the... Manipulate it, crush its head, and then crack it open and
brutal.
Feast.
I would love and hate to see that fight.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty messed up. Anyways, alright, so we're at everyone's favorite part of the show. I think, maybe, I don't know, I just like to say it is. We rate the animal 1 out of 65 million for any reason, like mana, dexterity, sexiness. It's probably not good at any of those things. Although dexterity might not be bad if
I don't know, with those claws, it's got some pretty good dexterity.
It could grip things well.
Grip things, crush things. Do you think that this one was able to go on the land? I remember in one documentary it showed some of the sea scorpions.
Yeah, and Walking with Monsters, it showed them on land. It might have been too big.
Too big, yeah.
Yeah, it couldn't
have to be one of the smaller ones.
Moved its body up. I mean, yeah, never say never, but...
Never say never. Life is surprising and strange, but unlikely.
Yeah. Also keep in mind that a lot of them were limited in size by their oxygen intake. And in the water, they don't have to worry about it as much, but on land, there was much less oxygen back then. Oh, I guess it was early Devonian, so there would have been there still would have been forests. So I guess there would still be a little oxygen.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be as much as today, and not even nearly as much as in the Carboniferous period. But it might be enough that they could.
Speaking of Carboniferous, I wonder if there were any sea scorpion eurypterids in that period? Or
let me check. Hold on.
Because I was thinking during that period, if they're going arthropod sized on the land, where you have to constantly fight gravity to hold your body off the ground, or hold your whole weight up and move it, in the ocean where you are floating light as weighing almost nothing if you get your buoyancy right.
Right.
Then how big could they get then?
It looks like they did last all the way to the late Permian. So they died out during the Permian-Triassic extinction event. So that, yes, they were around during the Carboniferous.
Makes me surprised that this guy was in the early Devonian then.
Yeah, that's...
You think the biggest one would be Carboniferous.
Yeah.
Maybe we just haven't found it yet.
Maybe, although maybe their bodies were built better for the ocean, so there might have been too much competition up on the land.
They had the amphibians, and they had
the other bigger arthropods that was more adapted for
fishes,
land. Yeah.
Which totally messes with your ability to work with your big heavy body.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so wait, we didn't rate it. I was about to say we haven't rated.
We haven't rated yet.
Yeah, I was about to say that's it for this week, but it's not it for this week. We got to rate. I might give it like a 50 million. Like, it's pretty good. I don't know what it loses points for. Just the fact that it's
an arthropod.
Yeah, that's true. It's never mind. I forgot. You're right. 20 million, 10 million, 5 million, 1 million. Nah, actually, it's still pretty cool. I'm gonna give it like a 45 million.
Yeah. I was thinking, it's about right. It is pretty cool. It's big. It was like you said, it's pretty much going to be an apex predator in its time. I'm a little less creeped out by scorpion kind of things, especially since it's in the ocean. I can avoid the ocean if I have to.
Yeah, so, we don't need to go swimming.
Yeah, I'm going to put it about a 50.
The beach is always nice.
Million.
It was just, go out to the beach and then just maybe dip your little toesies in,
Yeah.
And that's good because that way, if you're sensitive about your body image like I am, you don't have to wear a swimsuit. You could just wear a shirt and just like there are sea scorpion infested waters. So if anyone asks, that's what I'll say. Like there are sea scorpions out there, and I'm not swimming. They're like, yeah, sure, fat butt. Okay, I'm not that fat. I'm just overweight. I'm pleasantly plump. All right, so that's it for this week. Wait, did you rate it? You said 45 million, didn't you?
No, it's like 45 million.
Okay.
Or 50 million.
One of them. Who knows? Who could be bothered to check? All right, that's it for this week. If you want to get a hold of the podcast, you can contact me at mattd@matthewdonalcreator.com, and you can find me on professional social media at Matthew Donald Creator on Facebook, at MatthewDonald64 on Twitter, and MatthewDonald64 on Instagram. Henry, we're recording a podcast. You were so good this episode, and then you ruined it.
All right, keep going.
Okay. You can contact us. Maybe get a dog catcher. No, he's good. I love that dog.
Yeah. Love the dog. Poor timing.
Yep. If you're interested in writing, I have a podcast called
Let me close the door.
You'll still be able to hear it with him, though, with that. Just letting... I've done this before with... And the dog has barked, so you can hear it, but whatever. Don't be so far away. You need to be close to the microphone, remember?
All right.
Okay, next episode I record with you, I'll move the microphone over there so you can lounge back there.
Lounge.
Okay. Because I get a comfy chair. You should, too, you know. Okay. If you're interested in writing, you can listen to my other podcast, The Writ Wit, where two twits talk about writing. Me and my good friend, and your good friend, Matt David. Good guy, all around good chap. Him.
Good chap, super busy, super fun.
Super busy, currently in Japan.
Yeah.
He'll be back soon. Finally, I have a book series on Amazon called Megazoic, available for print and Kindle. It's quite... I like to say...
It's a fun read.
It is.
He likes to mock some fun things, and it's full of fun...
sci-fi tropes.
Like, lots of affectionate poking at sci-fi tropes, as well as some a little more hard elements, as well as a rather pseudo-believable idea of the past, of how dinosaurs had this great civilization.
But what happened
twice? And what happened to both of them?
Exactly.
Both are answered in that book.
My favorite sci-fi trope I like to make fun of, and that is doors.
Yes, the door one. The overly complicated sliding.
You know all those doors in Star Wars or other things where it's just like a bunch of rotating panels just opening in various directions. Like literally, all you just need is two, or even just one panel.
One panel, or better yet, just put a hinge.
Yeah,
it's super easy.
Practical works. You know, sometimes the simple methods are the best. Who needs this kind of long, extravagant, rotating panel, like different things slowly opening? It's just...
For dramatic effect.
Oh, that dog just keeps barking. Oh, well. Alright. That's it for this week. And as we say at the end of every episode, snip, 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 snip.
Snip, 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 snip. Clatter, 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 clatter.
Whatever the dog says. He's doing his best sea scorpion impersonation. It's not good, Henry!
Bye.
Bye.